Hey, Peter. Peter, that is the word from the control room that we are waiting for. That means we got a green light go. Oh, green light. Maybe that's a sign. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday Night Live special edition, a Saturday night pregame, a Super Bowl pregame party. Thank you for tuning in. We got a great guest tonight. We'll let Peter get to all that good stuff in a minute. We got to take care of some tidy housekeeping here, pay the bills to help keep the lights on. Like any good show, let's give you an official intro. My name is Mike. I am the owner of Carryallrc. This is the Rad Rc Show, a couple of RC addicted dads, bringing you the world of RC through our lens, the lighter side. Just a couple of dads sharing what's hot, what's not throughout the week. And, hopefully giving a spotlight for a guest to come on and talk RC with us for an hour or so. So if you are a repeat customer coming back for more, we thank you. If this is your first time here, the bloopers are free. You are welcome. We are a couple of amateurs just having a good time doing our thing. But you're going to see right away, this is a two-man effort, a two-man tag team. None of this can happen without my co-host, my good friend, Peter. How are you, sir?
Hey, man, what's up? Good to be back. Busy week, man. I just can't believe product drops. Got a Vanquish RTR, Axial Pro comp truck. A lot of things going on this week. A lot of drops. We'll get into that a little later.
You would almost think that there was an Expo this week.
Yeah, every time. And wasn't there also a drift car released? Is that Red Cat? Like, we're back to the weeks where there's like 3-4 drops a week again. So yeah, busy week. I know you're busy getting ready for USTE. Still jealous, but I'll be there in spirit. We'll go live from USTE. I know you're busy with the backpacks, but we'd like to thank our sponsors each week. People, companies we collaborate with a lot: Carryallrc, Treal Hobbies, CowRc, Rebel RC, Crazy Crawler Phones, Powerhobby 2.4 Designs, RC Misfits, Scale Rack, Crawler Cult RC, Adventure RC, Wesmade, RC Prorack, FMS, Race Place Hobbies, Remote Control Hobbies Orlando, our buddy Nick, and Real Sticky. Thank you to our sponsors. And tonight's guest, everybody in the RC hobby. I remember when I first came across our guest a long time ago, just kills it, man. Builds. But, even like the content she creates, it's well thought out, well planned, useful stuff. I'm not going to even lie. I learned how to paint a hard body by watching her tutorial. A very knowledgeable person. And I know it took us a while to secure this. Very excited, Mike. Very excited to hear what she has to say. And by the way, we're almost close to our FMS giveaway. We're approaching that 500 mark, which is a milestone for us because we've been grinding hard and getting the word out. So everybody, help us get there, man. We're going to give away an FMS. We also, like Mike said last show, we have scale garages to give away, Bobby's RC. We also have a CowRc total workshop makeover coming up at 1,000, I think, followers. So we got good stuff going on. And real quick, Mike, in the chat.
And that Rebel.
Oh, and the Rebel. We got a Rebel RC as well. I
think it's hard to even keep track of it all. But we're sticking to our guns, Pete.
I got pieces of garages,
Yes,
we got to get this stuff moving, man.
And but we're sticking to our guns. We're gonna make it that 500. Like as soon as we get to the 5, then we can start releasing this and having some fun with it. But
I just hope FMS, the FCX 24
we might be changing
style.
It might be a Smasher V2 by then.
V4 Smasher,
the V4 Smasher.
There's quite a few people before we bring our guest on. There's quite a few people in there, but I think people are being shy tonight. Usually people come in and say hello. There's quite a few people watching.
We need to let them rip and encourage them to ask the questions.
So we'll be monitoring the chat. So when we bring our guest on, please feel free to say hello, and then also any questions you have. We have Jeff, our repeat customer, Jeff, and Jan. Welcome to the show. Yeah, so busy week. I know you've been cranking away, getting a lot ready for USTE. I know you'll do
Seriously, all kinds of stuff. We're getting we got the new the Carryallrc bug out bag guy that lights up. I mean, it cycles through all the different colors. I love it in the green. The Rad Show one turned out great. The Rad Show one turned out great. I think we did like 6 different versions of different light up signs. So we'll have the chargers, we'll have the stand, we have a variety of different logos all done up. We'll have them with us at USTE. You can find us over at the Rebel booth and next to Crawlers and Custom or Crawler Cult. So we'll be set up next to Crawler Cult right there at the end of right there with the Rebel booth. But you know, Pete, the one thing that you and I've been talking about is, you know, Carryall 6-7 days a week for me. When I'm going to an expo like this has to be a little bit of decompress, time to decompress, and unwind a little bit. So we're really going to try and make a stand and get out there as much as we can on the trails. We will rub elbows and talk to anyone that wants to hear me chat. But we're going to not do it from behind a table this year. We're going to try and be out there on a trail, trying to really enjoy what USTE brings. We definitely have a whole lot of things, people we want to go see, builds we want to go see. And if we get time tonight, Pete, I might be able to bring something out that I've been dying to show you. But the Night Runner build that's been converted into Night Rider is officially done. Had it up and running today with the audio loop. Oh,
I want to see that.
Yeah, dude, it's a real accomplishment. Like, it was a deep sigh of relief. Like, when you get all, you know, the wiring harness to have all these different lights, the audio, you know, I didn't get it on the first try. You know, I had the underglow lights going and I see a smoke coming out. I didn't burn the bulb, but I mean, smoke's like, I don't probably burning solder off. I mean, stuff's getting hot. I'm like, whoa, I'm like changing stuff around. I mean, to configure this wiring harness that I had to make. And once it was up and running and it hit play and she came to life, I'm like, oh, so good.
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah, if we got time.
Yeah, we'll bust it out. It's hiding here. She's here. If we get a chance to, it's under the flag.
All right, we got a couple more people. I'll say hello.
Yes, and people in the chat room, please, we encourage you to please. If you got a question, fire them off. Fish and Bill.
And Google, Misty Mountain, and CowRc Heath. Welcome.
We'll do our best to get to the snowplow that Rick Snowplow sent us. He's been ticking around with the micro stuff. So he did a straight plow for the SCX 24 and for the FMS 18 scale. He did 2 micro versions of his straight plow. Functional, up and down, left, right, swivel. Pretty good stuff, man. Very impressive work. My jaw dropped when I seen it. Big shout out to Bobby RC Garage also. Man, this dude stepped up in the last inning, and this guy took it on the chin. He jumped into action, did some quick rough drafts, sent some proofs back, had the stuff printed in the mail, all in the same, like, 2 hours of me reaching out. So Bobby's RC Garages, if you're not familiar, go check them out. Show him your support. Solid dude. The guy is there to help and satisfy. And like, you know, Pete, that the shipping times with him is phenomenal. And much respect for what he's doing.
Absolutely. All right. You ready for our guest?
Yeah, let me get some stuff here. Let me powder my face and get ourselves presentable, because we're going to get taken to school here, Pete. This is when we're going to get exposed as a bunch of hacks, because this girl, this is what they call pro level. So we need to be on our best behavior here, Pete, and try and mind our try and be on our best level also.
All right, let's bring in RC girl. You know, chatting about it a lot. Let's do it. And there she is.
What's up, everyone? How's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be on. I met Peter a long time ago on Instagram, so we've connected for a while, and I am glad to be a part of the show. So thanks for inviting me.
It's like this weird feeling seeing her from watching her on Instagram and YouTube, seeing her on this side of the screen like this. It's kind of surreal. Like it's really her.
Oh, that's funny.
No, we do greatly appreciate you giving us some time, and hopefully, give people an opportunity to learn a different side of you, and maybe you have some new things and exciting things happening in 2023. Who knows? But we would love to throw some questions out at you and learn more about you. So from the selfish side, this is all me learning. So thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So Pete, I know you've been working on this guest for a while, and this is fantastic that it finally it all worked. I think, Hayley, the way we're going to do this is we will have every opportunity to navigate through the world of Zoom and check out your screen and let you screen share and talk about this and that. But I think this is time of the show where we're going to do the segment, this or that. Now, what's interesting is, Hayley, we've never tested this theory on a female before, so I might have to skip some questions. We will definitely keep this PG, but you know us boys, sometimes more dirty humor and things. So we're going to keep this strictly professional and family friendly. We've had many shows forget monetization. Some of these meatballs that we bring on here as a guest, we just throw that opportunity right out the window real quick. So let me pull up here my notes. Okay. So Peter, what we do now, this is when we're going to set the time clock for 1 minute. Hayley, we're going to go rapid fire.
Oh man, I'm nervous.
It's very simple. It's I'm going to give you two options. It's this or that, and you pick one. Some will not apply. Some are just for fun. But at the end of this segment, hopefully people get a better understanding and appreciation through a little bit of humor, a bit of personal side of who you are, and hopefully it will loosen us up to dive a little deeper into our interview process here with you as we chat about RC on the night before the Super Bowl. Welcome to the pregame show. Hayley, my screen went blank. Okay, here we go, Pete. All right. Call or text?
Text.
PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Are you a poker girl or blackjack?
Poker. Not good at poker, so let's say blackjack.
Okay. Lexan or hard body?
I really like making a Lexan body look like it's not a Lexan body. But I'm working on a hard body right now. I can't share more details about it. So I don't know. Can I pick both? Is that against the rules?
Why not? Hey, there's no rules here. This is all fun. Water ice or ice cream?
Wait, what was the first one?
Water ice. Do you have that in California? Water ice? Like a
Is
Rita's?
it like shaved ice?
Yeah, shaved ice. Water ice. You don't have a Rita's out in California?
We don't. No, I'll have to look it up.
All right. Burger or hot dog?
Veggie burger.
Whoa, wait a minute. You opened a can of worms. Are we a vegetarian?
I'm pescatarian. I eat like fish.
This is why we do the show, people. Look how we're cracking into her already. We're peeling layers of the show off, and wow, this is good. Ketchup or mustard?
Ketchup.
I was going to say cheesesteak or a hoagie. I'm dying to hear your answer now.
Cheesesteak or a hoagie?
Have you ever
had the word hoagie?
Have you ever had a Philly cheesesteak before?
I have, yeah, I have.
Okay, okay.
Those are good
She doesn't live in a third world.
too. You don't have those in California.
Well,
That's
you
true.
definitely don't have a Philly cheesesteak in Cali.
That's
I
true.
I promise you. A flat rail or C channel.
I think I have the most experience with C channel.
Bravo. 1.9 tires or 2.2.
I'd say 1 point. I have way more 1.9s, so those
Bravo.
are my go-to.
An action movie or comedy.
An action movie with comedy in it.
What?
Oh.
This girl is
I just watched
twisting
like the
these.
Thor movie the other night, and
I
it's
love
kind
how
of
she
both.
I love how she slips it in.
All right, we'll give
words
one.
or choices.
We're going to allow one more
It's
of
hard
these.
to pick one or the other.
We'll allow it one more time. After that, you're disqualified. A cat or a dog.
I don't know if you can hear my cat behind me. I like dogs a lot, but
She did it again.
moved in with me recently. Moved in a couple years ago. She was a stray, and I like her a lot. So cats.
Okay, cats. Okay, people. The answer was cats. We're just taking the long way to get here. Pete, we might have to reset this clock.
I'm sorry. You're right.
That's all right. All right.
Breaking all the rules.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
Facebook or Instagram.
Instagram.
Samsung or iPhone.
Google phone. What I have. A Pixel.
Okay. A unicorn or dragons.
Dragons. For sure.
UFO or Bigfoot.
UFOs for sure.
Nice. Zombies or vampires.
I guess zombies probably.
Crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter.
Smooth.
Air guitar or air drums.
Air guitar. Getting
Wine,
better at this.
wine or beer.
I gotta choose beer.
PayPal or Venmo.
Venmo.
The money, we'll send you money later. Tattoos or piercings.
I like tattoos. I don't have any though. But
All right, last one. Did I forget if I did this one or not? Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Really? All right, party
I
over.
guess. I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions on Pepsi versus Coke, but
Kill it, Pete. Interview over. Okay, that's it. Harmless. Just enough to get us.
Survived.
You survived.
Broke all the rules though. I'm sorry about
And
that.
you win nothing. Hooray. But yes, it was just something that we've been struggling to just find something a little different and way to break the ice. So hopefully
Cool.
that's what we did.
Awesome.
Pete, I'm going to let you jump in here. Why don't you throw her a softball question, and I will help you monitor any questions in the chat room. If you want to throw her something here, give her a chance to, you know what, before we ask her a question, let's you do it this way. Hayley, why don't you give us a formal introduction, a little brief bio of what makes RC Girl RC Girl?
Oh yeah, happy to do that. So RC Girl, my main platform is on YouTube. So I produce content, hopefully that's approachable for all levels, whether you're getting into the hobby and towards interested in getting into the hobby, or you're trying to do like paint a hard body. So I have sort of content that hopefully can speak to lots of different levels. I started, I think, 6 or 7 years ago on YouTube, but I've been in the RC hobby for about, I've counted, it's like over 20 years, which is crazy. Makes me sound super old, which I'm getting older. But yeah, I started in my teens. And so, yeah, I had my first kit was a team associated B3 buggy. And I built that up from scratch. Hot Rod Hobbies was my local hobby shop down in Santa Clarita at the time in California. And yeah, I got into RC in my teens, put my stuff away for many years, met my current partner and he was into planes. And I was like, oh, I have a bunch of RC cars. Let's take them out and like see if we can modernize them. And then that launched my YouTube channel, where we started filming some stuff about me getting back into the hobby, which so much has changed since then. Since when I first got into it, battery technology for one is way better now. And so, yeah, I wasn't a YouTuber. I didn't have plans to be a YouTuber. It kind of just happened, and there's not many females in the hobby. So I thought that I could be sort of maybe a good spokesperson for encouraging more women, more girls, more girlfriends, more wives, more daughters to get into it too. So that's sort of my submission of my work. And yeah, and expanded to Instagram, starting to come out with some products. I'm currently doing this full time, which is crazy because I quit my job in November, not to do YouTube, but it happens, I have more time now. I'm sort of taking a sabbatical from my day job and investing more time into RC, which has been really fun. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
That's scary. That look at Pete.
Do you know that I just looked up where my stickers are, and this was
It was there.
This was one of the first ones when you started printing stickers.
Those are my first ever stickers.
I just noticed it above me. I said, "Oh my god, because that's when you did RC Team Zone for me and ran like 3." Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I have a couple doghouse stickers on my Defender stuff.
You remember how long ago we traded those stickers? I mean, that went back years. It was like 8 years ago. Yep.
So nuts. Yeah, those are sold out. So those are keepsakes now.
Oh, man,
but yeah, those are my first stickers that I bought and started to sell on Etsy.
I forgot. That's too funny.
So you have an Etsy shop. You have an Etsy shop, right?
Yeah, I started an Etsy shop. I did like vinyl graphics. I've been selling those and stickers and stuff for a while. I make them all, and except for those stickers, I bought professional grade ones, and then learned how to make my own. And yeah, launching some new stuff on my Etsy, and it's been super cool. I just actually printed a new, calling it the Blue series, but a bunch of different blue like trucks and Jeeps, and they're all hand drawn by different artists on Etsy. So that's kind of cool too. Just
wow.
And then I print them out in like stickers that can go on water bottles and stuff. So yeah,
nice.
Just got posted before the show. Check them out.
That's awesome. So I wanted to go over to mountain bikes real quick because that's a whole other side of you. Is your partner into mountain biking also?
Yeah, he actually got me into mountain biking too. And there's a lot of overlap between mountain biking and RC because you're using very similar terrain. So I found that like a lot of mountain bikers are also into RC crawling and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been mountain biking for pretty much like, I guess we've been together like 8 years. So maybe I think 7 years I've been mountain biking. Live in Santa Cruz, so lots of trails out here. Santa Cruz bikes are here, Specialized. I have an Ibis, they're out here too. So yeah, it's been.
So I had a Kona, and
cool.
I used to be huge into mountain biking, and I sold my Kona 3 years ago. I miss it every day. I actually raced a couple times in New York,
nice.
ski mountains, and I sold my Kona, which Kona makes great. I'm sure you heard of Kona. They make great mountain bikes, and I regretted selling it, but every time I go crawling, I see these guys come on the trails. They have to be like $6,000 bikes. I mean, they got everything. Like these are like high end, like special racks for their cars. It's like very high end bikes, like disc brakes, everything. Like, but you have some sweet bikes though. I've seen your post on your bikes.
Yeah, I have an Ibis. I 3D printed one and painted it exactly to sort of look like my bike.
That's so cool.
But yeah, mountain biking, all the trails out here, we've gotten so much rain in California. So all the trails are basically turned into like ruddy waterfalls. It's so sketchy. Right? Oh, sweet. Yeah. The
Diamond. My Amazon one, right?
I know. I love that one too. And the suspension works. You squish it down.
Oh man. I didn't even know that.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. The rear shock.
And they come in a ton of colors. But we know James Knight was making them for a while. They were printable, but what a nightmare it was trying to print those wheels. Oh my goodness, that was.
I know. I had to I printed them perpendicular. So resin printing, I would say you probably
is the best way if you have resin. Yes.
Yeah. So I would say I'd recommend a resin printer for the wheels for sure. And I printed them. Actually, the first time I printed them perpendicular to the build plate. They turned out perfectly. And he said, I did ask him, he's like, don't print as few supports as you can on the spokes.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And very, flush cutters, when you're cutting off the spokes, be very careful. I think I broke one spoke and I had to glue it back together. It was devastating. But yeah, they turned out really good.
Nice. But yes.
I'll up my bike real quick. The one I printed, just if people haven't seen it before.
Yes. And you got that sweet bike rack to show the bike off.
Can you see the bike?
The bike rack. Oh my goodness! Yes.
Yeah, the one-up bike rack. We connected over. He had a lift kit for the F450. Oops.
Oh wow.
Oh man, Hayley, you painted this?
It said Zoom quit. Am I still here?
You're still here.
Okay. Yeah. So we connected over his lift kit, and then I saw. Oops.
Oh, there we go.
Get me off. It did say I was having Zoom troubles, but yeah, basically we connected over the F450 lift kit that he made, and he sent me that, and I was like, "This is amazing!" It got so much traction on Instagram because like people like miniatures, even that aren't really into RC. So
you put him on the map. I'm telling you, you put him on the map with that.
We connected very briefly at Pro by the Fire. His trailer, he was sort of camped out near me, and we like crossed, and he was like, "We need to connect," and I was like, "Yeah, we do." And then we just, people get super busy.
Is that the bike rack we have, Mike?
Yeah, it's James Bailey from CowRc Customs. He is one incredible dude.
Yeah,
this thing's awesome. Cool. This thing's awesome.
Yep, yeah. That's it.
Yep, I painted mine black just to match. Oh, cool. Is that the RevelCon?
Yeah,
it is. Did you have a Send truck?
Yeah, I have the 450 and I have the new 250.
Nice. I never see you post about the Send.
That's nice.
Really? Yeah, I had a video on it. I actually strapped it. I got a motorcycle recently, a Honda Rebel, and I strapped it to the back, and so that was part of the video where I biked to the trail or the place we were filming.
Nice.
Back of my bike.
Go look for that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that came with the full light kit, RGB, like color changing remote.
Yep.
Which is super cool.
That was a neat feature.
We don't have.
I know.
It's a fun one.
I don't know. I kind of, after my Impala, I was like, you know what? I kind of got enough of these one-offs. I need to dial it back and be a little bit more selective, a little less impulsive.
Yeah. It's kind of on-road for sure.
But much respect for you and your paintbrush there, girl. Holy crap.
Thank you.
That is some impressive paint work. The detail in those tires. I mean, bravo. Great job.
Yeah, the tires turned out really good. I was impressed.
Any special tips on that? Are you detail brushes, magnifying glass, lights, all the above?
I think I just used some of the Tamiya paints, the really fine stuff, and then I used some of the Testors paints, like the Kashima coat on the shocks, like that gold color, the Kashima. And then nail polish, the gray was actually just because I had a hard time finding the exact gray of my bike, so there was a nail polish color. And
no kidding.
And got the frame color to match, and I cut out the decals to look like my bike. Like the Ibis has like this feathery look, and then I got the Fox logo that I printed out in white on the fork. So it was a fun project. About a year ago, I just got a notification that it was a year ago, like this month, that I printed that out. So.
Wow, very cool. So much respect on, you've got skills, there's no question, and you're relatable, so your niche has become this beacon and a way to kind of let people feel a little bit more comfortable trying new things. The weathering technique, I know Pete learned how to paint a hard body. I remember doing the Rad Show, getting weekly updates after him doing his hard body with the tips from what you were doing, and I picked up weathering tips from the oil-based technique on the C10. So right out of the
Cool.
gate, your objective was reached. It has inspired us to try new things, and you already got me leaning towards airplanes.
Awesome.
That-
Yeah, I got the airplane
I
rack
got-
back there.
I can't do airplanes.
They're hard. They're
yeah.
tough, man. It's
I
not
had a drone.
relaxing
I had
for
a
me.
drone, and I'm gonna get another drone.
See,
but I can't do
for
airplanes.
me, I think drone flying is cheating. I hit one button, I set my drone in the air, leave it, and I
But
can
I like
run the
the
battery and we'll just stay
The
there.
photography ones, yeah,
the
the GPS
photography
drones.
drones. That's what I have.
Okay,
And
yes.
I take amazing videos of the shore of Long Island. It's
Very
fantastic.
cool.
But to land a plane and, it would be, I guess, on my bucket list to give it a try. And you proved
You
to
should
me
do
that it can
for
be done.
sure. Yeah, start with a simulator. I mean, that's actually how my partnership with Horizon Hobby came about. They're like, do you want to learn how to fly? They reached out and they saw me on YouTube, and I was like, sure,
Yeah.
sounds awesome. And they had a Sport Cub S. It's a beginner plane, super small. And they sent me the simulator, and that's sort of, I took it from there.
And that simulator works with the controller that you're actually using, correct?
Yeah, actually, let me grab it real quick. This is the latest one. I still have to review it. So sorry, Horizon, I know they sent it to me. Real Flight Evolution. So you can use your transmitter, like it looks like this. You can use your actual one. They have a link, something that you can link it to, or they have one where you can buy it with the transmitter and it plugs into your computer, which I would recommend, because then you just have one dedicated for that. But
And that's the one you're practicing with. So it's comfortable in your hand when you get outside on the plane. It seemed like it made perfect sense to me.
You got to learn the controls. It's not like you just pick it up and you can start flying it. You got to like figure out the throttle and the sort of the yaw and what all the movements do. It's not like something you can just.
So I got a question, because I know when I had my drone, like the FAA, there's a certain flight height limit you can go. So what do they do for airplanes? Like, you have to get a license, number one, to fly them. And number two, because I had to get a license for my drone. If you don't have a license, and they give you a very hefty fine, very hefty.
Oh yeah.
Is that a state thing then? Is that just in New York?
No, it's a
Federal.
FAA.
Okay.
I had to pay for a license, and if you get caught without a license and you're flying above a certain altitude, you can get fined thousands.
Wow.
Like a lot of money.
Yeah, it's pretty strict. They've gotten really strict. I'm not going to pretend to know all the regulations, so please look it up,
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the AMA has a lot of rules, or the AMA website, Academy of Model Aeronautics, has a lot of their rules too. And you have to have your sort of your model name on each of your planes and your phone number and registration. I think if it's above 250 grams or whatever, because all the drone people, they've been like screwing things up for the model aircraft industry.
Yeah, they're flying next to airports and flying into big. Yeah.
Now, does the airplane only go so high? Like, it limits itself? Like, you can't.
No, I don't think it does. They can go. I mean, they're limited by the power of the motor in them. So some like don't have unlimited vertical, but yeah, you can go. I don't think so, but yeah, someone will have to double check that.
I'm a little nervous. I don't know if I have room in my brain to learn anything new right now, so I'm just a little hesitant.
Yeah.
But it's sure you made it look fun. Objective completed.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun, and it's challenging too. And it's fun to be able to like fly lots of different types of models too. So that was really fun.
How about no prep drag racing or drift cars? Have you ever dabbled in any of that aspect yet?
I have not, like the go fast stuff and drifting. I haven't gotten. There's a place locally where they have an indoor drift course, Sheldon's Hobbies in San Jose. So I've been interested in drift curious, I guess. And then the no prep drag, I'm just curious.
It's blown up. It's getting huge.
Yeah,
I'm getting a drag car.
Yeah, I'm interested for sure.
Okay.
I just feel like on my channel, I don't know enough about it to be able to share about it. So it might have to be another one of those things like, all right, let's
a segment and build as you go and tell people. I think there would be enough of an audience. The way that segment is growing, I think there'd be enough people interested to learn some of the different brackets between the brush motor class, the brushless class. I'm sure there's so much to learn.
For sure.
But like you, Yeah, fire away, Pete.
Just wanted to show you your tutorial. This is one of the end results.
Awesome.
So that's
Looks
one of
great.
the
Nice job.
outcomes. And the guy's ready for the ski slope. So
Very cool.
this did not look like, you know what truck this is. It does not look like this out of the, it looks
So much
easy.
work to disassemble them and like
Oh,
Yes.
Don't
prep
even get me
them,
started on
sand-
how long it takes to pick.
I know people don't know that aren't in RC. It's like that is so much work. But looks great.
All right. So our buddy Jeff, our repeat customer, he had actually 2 questions. So one, can we look forward to more YouTube content now that you're doing this full time? And number 2, would you rather be building a kit or be out on the trails? Any custom build you're working on?
Bravo. Great question.
Yeah. So Jeff, I'll answer yours first. I'm hoping, I'm aiming, this is my dream goal, aiming for a video a week. It's not, hasn't happened yet, since I was sort of doing like a product launch this week, but I'm aiming for hopefully a video a week. They just take a lot of time. So I'm, you know, that's sort of my goal. And I'm maybe hoping to get like a schedule, like every Thursday or every Wednesday, so people can anticipate, you know, the days that videos come out. But definitely, every day is an RC day for me, which is it's such a departure from what I was doing for my full-time job. I worked at a nonprofit, and I was on Zoom all day, every day. I loved my job. I just got exhausted. So this has been a really nice, like, artsy hobby detour from my day job. So, enjoying it a ton. And then, so the next one, would I rather be building a kit or out on the trails? I probably spend more. Is this a this or that one question again?
We'll let you load it like you did earlier.
I know, she botched our question.
Just let us have the Hayley answer.
Like backstory to everything. I spend more time building kits for sure. Like I spend more time working on the trucks than actually driving them, which is I should be driving them more. But I enjoy being out on the trails with like people crawling and stuff more. I don't know. I enjoy both of them. I think that's like all facets of the hobby are enjoyable for me.
It's a hard question to answer. It really is, because building is a huge part of this hobby, regardless of how much time you're out there driving it. Building and creating and customizing, it's a huge part of it, and that's what you can do right after dinner. You can run out to your basement, shed, whatever, and take a few minutes to yourself and decompress after a crappy day and just enjoy your hobby.
For sure. Like that was a godsend having the RC hobby during Christmas. So during Christmas, I got COVID. And so I had to cancel all my plans. Couldn't see any of my family for Christmas. And it was such a bummer. But I had actually I had a bunch of RC stuff sent my way because Christmas holidays are crazy for the RC hobby. And I spent Christmas Day kind of alone building this hard body Crawler Co. FJ. Comes as a kit for the SCX-10 too.
I remember seeing this all in pieces.
And I did this on Christmas Day. It was so nice.
I love it.
From not seeing my family on Christmas Day. So that was great.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Very cool.
And you're also a fitness person, right? 5K Pro Line by the Fire.
An ultra girl.
You've won some awards.
How many people were you competing against?
Not that many, but you never have to say how many people you're competing against. One of 3 or whatever. Doing entering. So, I'm hoping that more.
I came in 3rd.
But actually, overall, I think I was like 7th or something out of like 40 or something. So overall, I didn't do too bad coming against the dudes.
Now, do you train a hot one for that, or are you just normally?
No, I did not train. I prep I run it with a bomber, axial bomber 2.2. So they have a couple different classes. You can run it with a 1.9. Some people do. They do a 2.2 class, women's class, kids class, and stuff. And I just, I camped. So at my first Axial Fest, I camped next to one of the guys that kind of wins it pretty much every time, where he's in the top 3. And he gave me a bunch of tips about, what tools to bring with you, how many batteries you're going to need, bring water, zip ties, just so he gave me like the lowdown. I was super nervous about it. But then you just run and, I didn't do any upgrades really. I put a heat sink on my bomber. I didn't do too many things. And some people, if you mod it too much, you actually cause more problems or more things can go wrong. So I did it with the pretty much stock bomber and survived. And I think they say if you can finish, you're gonna be set, because a lot of people don't finish. They, DNF, or their truck breaks, or they, get exhausted or whatever, injure themselves, a tire flies off. So I think, we always say walk the uphills, maybe the first lap, kind of pace yourself, walk the uphills, and then run the downhills. Those would be my tips anyway.
How many laps do you think it is?
I put it on Strava. It's a
few times.
miles.
Okay.
It's not always exactly a 5K. I think the one at Proline by the Fire this past year was like 5 laps. It was in the middle. It was at 10 a.m. So it was like peak heat too, in the desert. And it was 5 laps. I almost died. Somebody had to give me like some of their water. I was like hiding out under a rock.
Wow.
And he's like, here, have some water. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then I was able to finish, but that was a tough one.
That California sun's no joke. You need to stay hydrated.
That's awesome.
But it's neat to once you're in the zone for a little bit, you start to become one with the truck. And after you're into the process, everything's clicking, and you're not even thinking about it anymore. You're just going through the motions. And keep
your truck ahead of you. Like, you don't, like a lot of people will keep it right in front of your feet. You're always like kind of stepping on it. So drive it ahead of you. And you're always gonna be able to, the car's always gonna outrun you. So I think just kind of always keep it in your line of sight, and it's fun. I would encourage anyone to do it, even if you're not like into fitness or whatever.
I don't know. I'd rather watch. I'd rather enjoy the Proline by the Fire City or something.
City.
My Trick RC and the guys out there are always doing something incredible, and like I'll go enjoy that.
Yeah, no, he had a lit up castle, Dan from My Trick RC. I asked him, I'm like, can I showcase some of your cool products coming out? And he's like, no, on this live stream. It's like coming out soon. So I almost leaked something, but
that's okay.
Just a little teaser. He has some really, really cool stuff coming out soon.
I have it here, and I talked to him like 2 weeks ago. It's going to be cool. But the last I heard, he was still coming to USTE. Do you know if that changed at all? Like that
Send me a photo. He's in the desert this week.
I'm hoping that he's still coming. That was the big reveal. We won't show anything, but yes, My Trick RC. If you're not familiar, Dan over at My Trick RC does a phenomenal job with some very cool light kits.
I think they're some of the best. I mean, I have some
brightest for sure.
Brightest, and you get the functionality with it too. The turn signals, and for the drift guys, you can make the tailpipe backfire. If you want fire truck lights, you can get that. I mean, he's got. Go over and check out his website. But the one reason I give him so much respect is what he did. The first year we went to Proline by the Fire in 19, he was a part of that city that they did. That whole backdrop, it was amazing. And he really didn't do anything to put his name out there. I'm like, Dan, if I was you, I would have been like spray bombing some graffiti on a back wall, taking some sort of credit. But he just wanted people to enjoy it, and very humble guy.
For sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great
guy for sure.
Got 2 more questions.
Fire away.
Hold on, let me lower my.
So polite with your raised hand on your own show.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt nobody. All right. So first question, Fish and Bill, Hayley, for someone that's just starting to get into the business side of the hobby, what would be your biggest piece of advice for somebody new?
That one's tough because I'm still sort of learning myself, but what I'm realizing, I have so much respect for every single product that's released now. Like, people trash a new product coming out and you're like, every screw had to be sourced. They had to figure out the sizing of the boxes and the shipping and like the packaging design. Like, there's so much that goes into a product design. It's insane. So like coming out with like, a screw kit is tough for me. I'm doing it all myself. So it's not like I have a warehouse of stuff. I'm like finding things that I use myself that I feel like other people in the hobby, would appreciate too. So I think I'm starting with like similar how I started my channel. Like, I started with products that I personally use. So
that's a great tip. I think you could take that advice, Hayley, and move it over to somebody that would maybe want to take their first step to be maybe a team driver for a brand. The first step would be make sure it's a brand that you support or a brand that you're using yourself, and be authentic. And I think that can translate back over to what you're selling. Also, these are products that I use, and now, you know, you put your logo on it and offering it to the public. But bravo on bringing that to the table. As far as with a new product drop, there is no shortage of meatheads out there that insist on leaving their comments, thinking that people really care what they think, but they have no shortage of hammering their thumbs on this. And sometimes, guess what? A product drop might not be meant for you every time, but there might be a market out there for it. And sometimes you can just scroll on. You don't have to give your opinion on why you think everything is wrong with it. Maybe it wasn't for you.
And to that point, Hayley, like to Mike's point, like, you know, I get a kick out of the FMS forum, the FCX24, because, you know, every time Treal comes out with something, there's about 95 comments of how people would have made that part. And, you know, it makes me laugh because I'm saying, well, the part was designed for the truck specifically, but how come Treal didn't do it this way? They should have done this and did this and bent this 95 degrees to the left. And I'm just like, really, man, you know, like,
then you do it and you customize it yourself. And
you fly to China, you make it, and then produce it. And that's the other thing too. And Mike and I talk about this all the time. Like, people don't understand, like, raw goods, price of material, getting stuff from China to America. Everybody's like, oh my God, it took 2 weeks to get here to the Northeast. And it's like, all right, you have customs, you have import taxes, you have like raw good prices. Like, people don't understand what goes into getting that to your front doorstep. Social media is wild.
And yeah, I mean, as a business owner, I can completely relate, and all the time and thought that goes into every little step, and it's a nightmare. So how about, instead of trashing the new drop, if you don't really like it, just scroll on. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. That's really the honest way to treat it.
Yeah, everyone has an opinion.
But you opened a can of worms here, Hayley. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is we offer all our support to you. We wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
In your new endeavor. It is a huge gamble. I remember 3 years ago going to my wife and telling her, hey, I'm quitting my job. Like, what?
I'm sure that went over well.
Like, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to take up this opportunity here and make something in the RC world.
It's a risk. I know. It's
like,
a risk,
you would not believe. And to get people to understand, like, why I do things the way I do, you have to remind them, this is no longer my hobby. This is literally my job, and it is what pays the bills and keeps the food on the table for my family. So I protect it like a papa bear. It's very family-oriented business, mom and pop owned. So I know what you're about ready to get into. You're going to have your ups and downs, your good days and your bad days. But just know, you have our support 100%. We wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's hard because it is, for most people, it is a hobby. But then when you combine the business side of it, it can get messy.
It's hard to blur. It blurs very quickly.
Yeah, it's tough. So I think walking that line of course, I'm a hobbyist first, but then if I want to do this and continue to, you know, be a YouTuber or whatever that's called, like, I need to have, you know, an income to generate from that. And so I'm hoping that, you know, launching this product line hopefully can help, you know, launch some new collaborations. And actually, so another partnership, I don't know if you're familiar with Little Uglies. I did a giveaway recently with them. They produced a bunch of stuff like upgrade parts for the SCX24. We're collaborating on potentially a product line too. I'm getting some prototypes soon. And so we're going to do, I think, a collaboration co-branded thing, and then a strictly RC girl for Axial UTB 18 and the TRX4M. So I'm going to hopefully have some parts coming out for that, not under the Fix RC. So the Fix RC stuff that I'm doing, my hands touch every product. I package every single product and like sort of manage all the sales through my Etsy channel through that, but hoping to like sort of increase scale up, I guess, and partner with other people that have the capacity and the warehouses and the shipping and all that branding stuff to collaborate on some new products. So Fix RC will always be stuff that I'm selling personally, that I have, buy the product and package myself, but can't do it all. So, partnering with other people that have that capacity. So, yeah, Little Uglies, he's been great.
Yeah, familiar, and all great little platforms. It's been amazing. 2022 is going to go down as the year of the micro. 100%. The amount of micro drops that came, and micros existed before that, absolutely. But in 2022, they just came on the scene and exploded. I
remember you and I were talking. We were like, all right, we're gonna get the Axial, right? The Betty comes out, the first Jeep. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Everybody's into micros. We buy 2 of them. Then the Jeep Gladiator comes out. Then the Bronco comes out. Then we get FMS starts coming along out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, they have everything.
Got 19 micros like all over the place. And I don't know what to do. I run them maybe 3 times.
FMS does a lot of great stuff, but the one that broke the internet, the truck of the year, right here, when they did the Smasher, that there was a market for a micro monster truck.
Those are so fun. Seriously,
this is a
has to be the best freaking truck I've ever seen. And you get that little speed motor put into it. And
I still need to install mine.
It will do standing backflips.
It just does wheelies.
It's out of control.
It does a lot of stunts. It's impressive.
Well, it's going with me to USTE. Apparently, rumor on the street is there's a Monster Jam stunt park going to be set up at USTE. So bring your monster truck, your micro monster trucks, go out there and let them rip. So you did kind of open up a can of worms here. With this new endeavor, you're doing a product launch. Do you have anything handy, like what we're talking about? What kind of got your feet wet into this?
So people were like, if you want to do this more full time, like you're helping a lot of other companies sell stuff, like you should sell your own stuff. And, you have the platform to launch some cool stuff. I was talking to my friend in marketing. She works in the mountain bike industry, and she knows a bunch of like YouTube bikers. And she's like, yeah, they come out with, bars for their bikes or derailleur hangers or whatever, some things, and they have their own website. And so I was like, oh, I could maybe do something similar. So I'm starting, Tom Crone, I saw him he was my first screw kit sale. So I don't know if you can see very well. It's kind of the lighting's a little bad. But yeah, 500-piece screw kits. Like I'm always looking for screws or, the right size, and I make all the labels for them. So like it's all, you can see like in your kit, like what screw, like is it the button head, is it countersunk, what size, is it M3, M2? So I labeled everything for people. Let's see, body reamers. I don't know, some stuff maybe people don't even know that like you can drill holes. You don't need a Dremel. You can get a body reamer that helps you drill little holes when you're doing Lexan bodies. Or if you need to fish your My Trick RC light bar through the truck. So I sell a kit for this. I already sold out of the shock pliers.
Don't ever drop it though. Once you drop those things, that tip will bend and you gotta get a new one.
Yeah. Careful, that has a lid on it. So it's a secure.
Keep that lid on.
Another thing, I've been working on this, and I want it to be perfect. So I haven't released this one, but it's a multi-tool where all the bits fit in the bottom. So I wouldn't say that this is something that you would use on your bench, but if like I was thinking of running the 5K, you need something small to fit in your travel pack.
That's a good idea.
Going out on the trail with your truck with some friends real quick. So all the bits sort of fit in the tip here. And it's like really small footprint. You can literally fit it in your pocket. So I'm coming out with a multi-tool really soon, and trying to figure out what sizes and stuff. Do I want to make a microcrawler one specific? And I want them to look cool too. So not just like, so yeah, multi-tool.
You're speaking our language now, Hayley. You stepped into the Carryallrc world here where we can completely relate to what you're doing, where you want those accessories in a trail bag to be prepared for when those mishaps happen, So pack accordingly. Pack
For
your
sure.
bag. You have your hardware. We love this. This is
Very cool.
fantastic.
I'll be doing
And that
some shop.
multi-tool, like you said it best, Haley, I wouldn't recommend somebody replacing their MIP tool set on their workbench with something like that. But it is the ultimate weekend repair tool. Keep it in your bag and
Like the travel tool for sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll be doing
Yeah,
some
and
very cool.
some stuff is already sold out, like the screw kit, and I have shock pliers that are this is my favorite tool ever, and because I think when I was building kits for the first time, I'm like, how do you grab the shock shaft without scratching it? How do you get those stupid ball ends in? I was just struggling, and then I realized, oh, there's actually a tool that can help with that. So yeah, the shock pliers, unfortunately, they're sold out already, which is awesome, but hopefully going to restock those. And then I have some like just scale things, like
Yes.
jack stands.
Does that have your logo?
These are cool. I love all the RC accessories.
Do they have your logo on them also?
The Fix logo?
Okay.
I figured like people aren't going to want to have RC Girl.
Okay.
In the hobby, so I sort of sub-branded.
What's wrong with RC Girl? I wear proud.
There's nothing wrong, but I'm just assuming that most guys aren't going to want to have "girl" written on some of their stuff.
But no, I think it was a smart assumption. Oh, the super scale hitch. I love it.
Yeah, and these have been pretty popular. And then I just posted my party light bar. I had to make sure that all the voltage rate, because
it's the changing color one.
Color changing one.
Yeah.
So I forget who I'm terrible about this, but someone had a van built, and he had the back of his van, it was the Proline Rock van, and he had like this rave party scene, his doors open, and he had this like multicolored light bar in the back, just as like sort of mood lighting. I'm like, that thing is so cool. So I bought one from China, and so I was like, okay, I want to stock these because they're super cool. I have one here. I can turn it on. If we
please. Yeah. Look at the disco show going on behind her here. The RC Prorack disco show.
That's pretty rad.
Hey people, if you don't know what is behind Haley right now, she's got the RC Prorack disco show. With you coming out of the screen, it really showed it off perfectly.
Oh yeah, I'll go away. But I'll turn the light on.
I'll go away, she says.
We have a party bar. So I don't use it as a light bar, but I use it as like an underglow, and it has a lot
That is a genius idea. Oh, bravo.
It's really fun, and for night crawls, so I know
yes,
you're going to UST and stuff, like everyone has the most tricked out lighting in the truck. And this one is controllable with your transmitter, so you can toggle through all the settings. It has a lot of flashers, but I basically just keep it on like rainbow party mode.
Well, because you answered my question, I love it, because I wasn't about to put it in as a scale light bar on the hood of my truck, but underglow. What a genius idea! Or the mood lighting in a van. Way to think outside the box. I love it. Fantastic.
My lighting.
Now, is this on your Etsy chat? Like these products are for sale on your Etsy? Where do you get these products?
Yeah, on my Etsy. And I can chat the link. It's Etsy.com.
Send me the link so I can put it in a recap tomorrow.
Perfect.
Cool. Yeah, I'll put it. I'll send it to you. And so yeah, the screw kit's not available now anymore, and the shock pliers, but the rest of the stuff, the light kit, and a couple. I have a bunch of new stickers. I just printed these out. I got a new printer, and it's like super high tech fancy, and can print like really high DPI like images. So I'm coming out with like the blue series, all the blue trucks.
Nice.
Stickers are 2 of them are posted, but more will be posted soon.
I love the fact that they were hand drawn at some point.
Yeah, hand drawn. Some, not all of them, but a lot of them are like artists, and I buy the licensing to them.
Fantastic. That's a very cool idea.
So before I forget, I first want to say congratulations.
Oh yeah, thank you.
2 months in a row.
Yeah.
I still don't have the February issue, but yeah, that's the March issue of Rccaraction. I met Lee.
We can mail you one. We have quite a few.
2 months in a row.
Congratulations. And
thank you.
I'm not one.
They're going to rename the magazine RC Girl.
Just gonna say RC Girl on the cover. So
you've been in it, Peter. You've been in it a ton of times though.
Yeah,
so
well, I've been in it a couple, yeah. But Mike, you know I'm not one for looking up something in a magazine and buying it right away. So I finally did it. If you notice in this magazine, there's something called a vampire tool. So I read up on it, and it's for removing strip screws. So I go right to Amazon, and what do? Impulse buy. I buy this thing. It comes in like this. I'm saying to myself, what am I going to do with this? I mean, it looks like pliers, right? But when you strip a head of a screw, it has
The
a
most
special
annoying thing ever.
it
That's
has a
awesome.
special bend in it. But I'll leave it to everybody once they get the issue. It actually seems like a pretty good tool to have.
Nice.
So congrats on
Very cool.
Rccaraction. The
Thank you.
article's awesome. I loved your
Yeah, the
post, by the
Prorack.
way. I got a kick out of your post. You're like, oh my God, it's my mug in the magazine when you posted.
It's so weird. It's like so weird. Being in print media is interesting. But
And that's where we have so much respect for this magazine, is that the people that say, oh, it's outdated, it's a print, you know, it's old technology. No, that's the beauty of this. Put your freaking phone down for a little bit and enjoy a printed magazine. To be published in a magazine, it's such a neat step away from the world of social media, and Facebook will prove it. Anybody can go on social media and post a picture of their truck, but to get something published, that's an accomplishment, and it's just a fun thing to have. The magazine's
yeah, to be
phenomenal.
able to hold on
We
to
are
it.
huge fans of it. We support it. We will renew issues every year for Christmas. I get a new subscription. That's my aunt's Christmas present to me every year. It's cool to
It's a
still
good
have
one. And it's
have a
super
printed.
cheap. It's
Yes,
really
very
cheap to
affordable.
subscribe to it.
Absolutely.
And it goes, Lee was saying it goes international. Like it's, yeah. So I look forward to
Very
getting it.
cool. And they do an amazing job trying to keep all the content current. And they you know, I explain to people, sometimes you'll find articles in there about a pocket knife, and you're like, why is a pocket knife in an RC
That's
Caution
why I
magazine?
saw this, and I was just reading it. And I'm like,
They got
this
you.
they got me. You know what? You're right. They got me, because I was on Amazon faster than you could like close the magazine, and it was at my house the next day. And I'm like,
They
what am I gonna
find
do with this thing?
very useful
no idea.
tips.
So handy though. Seriously, the right tool for the job. When you strip a screw, it's devastating
Oh
because
my
you're
God.
like,
Like the go fast stuff, like my arm is, when I strip a screw, it's like a disaster. It's like,
yeah.
well, once I use it once, Haley, I will message you and say I used
Let me
it.
know how it goes.
Got
Yeah.
my 29 dot whatever it was, value out of this. Thanks, Lee. Thanks for the article, Lee.
It's fantastic, and it's just another outlet. It's a great source. If you're not subscribing, you're missing out on something, and it's an achievable goal to submit a build into Reader's Rides and wait a couple months and get an issue and find that you've actually been selected. It can happen, people. So, you know, participate and support it. It's well worth it.
Mike and I have discount codes for Rccaraction that we use for the Carryall, brand
Oh, cool.
ambassadors. Mike has one, I have one, and for a year it's $22. And Mike and I
The
stress
affiliate
that
code.
at that discount rate, $22.
You can't beat it. It's
I know,
How do you
yeah.
beat that?
Seriously.
the
So-
and you post that almost every time. It's through the Rad Show. We have this affiliate link that you can use that promo code to save, and yeah, it's a great setup. Very affordable. Big fans. Great job. Congratulations. 2 months in a
Thank
row. Great, useful articles. And people are looking, as YouTube's becoming more and more popular, these weekly shows with co-hosts talking each week are popping up every day of the week now. There's a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. These shows are becoming available on Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. So what's interesting is everybody's looking for that cool backdrop. And the RC Prorack, you've done it justice. Bravo. Great work. You've done an amazing job with the lighting and the setup. And I know it probably took you some time to get that all done. So time well spent.
Now, how do you
Thank you.
have
Yeah,
them changing the colors on their own like that?
That's
yeah,
that.
it's in a color changing mode, but I can make it all
You
blue.
can set
also
each
one
code,
remote.
all through one remote. and that remote will allow you to, you can set your color or you can cycle through them.
Well, I was telling Haley before we started the show, I don't know about the RF frequency in that remote because it turns my television on. It turns everything in my hobby room. The lights behind me, one remote does my whole hobby room. So I don't know about the frequency of that, but so you
that's
can have
funny.
them all change individual colors, all of them. Wow,
that disco was cool as hell.
Yeah, you can get them like you can get them where I synced them up, and so just a lot of
You can make them all green if you want. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, no.
Little good luck. Yeah, you can make them green. There we go.
Ah, there you go. And the necklace to go.
There is a Super Bowl tomorrow, people. This is our pregame Super Bowl party. So hopefully everybody say your Eagles prayers tonight that we will come away and that this chain wasn't an epic waste of money. My Eagles lanyard. If they lose, I got to get rid of this thing.
This is an interesting question because before we let Haley go,
yeah.
This is a very interesting question because you see this a lot on social media. Everybody always says, oh, Axial, another Jeep, another Jeep, another Jeep. So this question says it's on the flip side, but same concept. With so many Toyota models out there, what vehicle, real or in the hobby, would you like to see on the market?
A Hummer.
Toyota?
A Hummer.
A Hummer.
That's awesome. Oh, man, that's tough. So I asked that question about basic, stickers or whatever. I'm like, what other truck should I print? And someone mentioned Honda Element would be so sick. So I think that could be kind of cool as an RC. Element. I don't know how popular it would be, but I know like a lot of people take Elements, and put campers on them and like deck them out and stuff. So I think that would be kind of cool and different. But I know, a lot of companies want to tailor towards things that would be super popular.
The Suzuki that you have, the FMS one. That would
yeah.
That would be a cool
sticker.
Something different. I mean, I'm looking
Suzuki. I do have a Suzuki, actually, one of my new ones, I think.
Everything's Jeep that I have. Jeep.
Well, Suzuki.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so I have one of those.
All right,
but in an RC mode.
If you see a large order tonight, it might be me.
Okay, I was up till like 2 a.m. doing orders, so I got to streamline my process a little bit. I'm still figuring all of that stuff out, but
yeah, you can't really stress yourself out too much. I think you need to allow, a 48-hour window at least, I hope you build yourself a little bit of a cushion and be a little bit realistic, especially in the beginning when you're starting out like this. You are you're getting a huge wave of that big surge. So people need to be patient right now for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I want every order to be perfect, and like you just want the experience for people to be good on the launch. So I'm doing my best, but orders will come out soon.
I think we need to talk about doing an RC Girl special edition carryall bag and get these get these accessories thrown into it. I mean, we've had great success with the G-Speed bag. I'll reach out to you after USTE and see if we could. Now that you've been talking about collaborating with other vendors and looking for these outreaches and ways to navigate in the world of your new endeavor, 2023 is looking very good for you right out of the gate. So
thank you.
I'm super excited for you. You've been a deadly weapon out there when this was your part-time gig. I can only imagine what we are in store for now that Haley is off her leash and free to go wild. I would love to have an interview with the partner to understand what it's like to watch a YouTube superstar appear in front of your face, because I don't know if I'd live with my wife being a YouTube star. Like, I think she would drive me insane rubbing it in my face all the time.
Oh man. No, he's very tolerant of like every room having RC stuff in it. I'm trying to like compartmentalize. It's like literally RC stuff everywhere. I know we were talking about like storage solutions and stuff, and it's like there's trucks coming out of every place where you could stuff trucks.
So is this like your
stacked on top of each other?
Like where you are now, this is your main layer? like your main.
Oh, this was supposed to be his office, and it kind of turned into the RC room, and it was just, like, planes everywhere.
Hey, hon, I'm just gonna use this. I'm gonna use this for one video, and then it turns into an RC Prorack.
I know. It was a mess. So like, once
My man lost his man cave. Oh man.
So yeah, his room, his office is turned into an RC room, and then our spare bedroom is like now it's turned into like my Etsy shop and stuff, and like sort of my
God, this
editing
poor guy.
station.
Mike,
I know. I'm so sorry.
He has nothing
Oh,
left.
but hey,
Yeah.
my wife's in the same boat though. She
Very
puts up with a
tolerant.
lot of nonsense. I mean, there's stuff all over.
I know. I try to contain it. Like, I'm good at making a mess, but I'm like, okay, after this project's done, like we got to clean this up.
You
So
go to make dinner,
well,
there's like 2.2 wheels on the counter.
It gets bad, but with USTE like 4 days away, I got stuff in the dining room table. It's it's so bad right now. My wife's like, you do know that I don't support this, right? I'm not happy right now with you. You know that, right? I'm like, yeah, I get it. It'll be over soon.
That's fine.
Oh, ay. Hey, but Hayley, well, wait, before we close out, Peter, is there any other questions that were submitted earlier in the week that we need to get to? I want to make sure, I know some people took some time to write them, and I want to make sure we didn't miss anything.
I mean, there's quite a few if you want to go.
Fire them away. Yeah, please.
All right. So, one of the questions was, this is from your YouTube, the comments. What advice do you have for people that are just joining a hobby? Some may be new to the RC world, such as myself.
Oh, good one.
Yeah. So thanks everyone who submitted comments. I did a post announcing this live stream, and a lot of people submitted comments. So thanks for that. And this is from Troca RC. So thanks to they, them, him, her. So what advice would I have for joining the hobby? I would say, what interests you? Are you interested in drag racing? Are you interested in monster trucks, crawlers? There's so many different types of cars. Also, what's your budget? Because people ask me like, what RC should I get? I'm like, there's so much. There's like products coming out every day. So, how much do you want to spend? And I think that kind of limits what options are available to you too. And I think, get on the forums, do your research. Like, I didn't know how to paint a hard body. So I looked on, I think it was, Scale Builders Guild forum of like, who are the people doing this? Watch a YouTube video on how to do it. And so I think, yeah, starting that way. And then I think, build your skill sets in painting. That goes a long way. 3D printing is another thing of interest. If you're interested in that, there's just parts of the internet that
don't scare them away now. Wow.
Yeah, I think just making your
there's
own
so much outlets.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, watch tutorials on it. I didn't know how to do any of this, but I think if you're interested in learning, there's a lot out there that you can learn for free on things like YouTube and forums. So,
Hayley, I want to congratulate you on the best answer ever, because the key word that you gave there was about doing your own research. And I think that's key to changing Facebook forums a lot, because people are so impulsive to jump into these forums and ask the questions there. And guess what, people? Full disclosure, you're not going to get good feedback there.
It's slaughtered. I know. It's not very good.
You're going to, if you don't come correct, you're going to get lit up with both guns blazing every time. The reason why you're lighting fires, you come into a forum like that and you're asking silly questions like, what servo do I buy? What tires do I buy?
That's my favorite post.
You're lighting a fire. I turn off notifications and I bail out because you just set a forest fire. But what you hit on was do the research. There's a way that we all came into this hobby, and that was using the YouTube platforms that YouTubers put out there for us for a reason, and do a little bit of research. If you get to the end of the road and you do not find the answer that you wanted to, and you've asked your friends, your family, and everybody you can think of, then resort to these Facebook forums. But if you can keep those forums a lot cleaner, an opportunity for people to kind of just post a picture and talk about what they're doing, it would make Facebook so much more enjoyable than watching somebody get blasted all day long.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, like, don't be afraid to mess up. Like, I've messed up bodies, like Lexan bodies, and the paint just splatters everywhere. And you're like, oh, it's so annoying. But you learn from all those things, like wipe your nozzle and heat up your paints before and buy the right type of paints. And so there's just a lot of details. And you're gonna mess up. Like, yeah, you're gonna mess up. But then you learn and you get better over time. And
Part of the hobby.
don't be afraid to try.
You unpack so much there, but like what you're touching on is like putting a can of paint in the boiling hot water and let it warm up, and these little tips mean a lot, and they're all available on YouTube, people, if you do the research. So
yeah, and watch a couple different ones because everyone has a different technique.
And
This
take
is for any hobby, but
blend
you'll
it
get advice
together.
from 5 different
Yes.
people and take what you need from each of those. And then there's some tutorials that are like an hour long, and then it's just like, oh gosh, I have to sit through an hour just to talk this 5-minute thing. That's another thing that encouraged me too, is like, okay, there's these really long, lengthy things, but this is really just 5 simple steps. Let's like break it down, make it easy for people.
Keep people's attention, and yeah, there is a sweet spot where people start to zone out. So keep them short, and good for you. And I think that's the other best advice, is take a few different tips from I watch 3 or 4 different people get some opinions, and I'll take this tip and this tip and that tip and see how it goes. So that's great advice. All right, Pete, lay another one on her.
All right, Chris Pierce, any plans for a 6x6 crawler in the future?
Maybe. I had an Atlas 6x6. I gave it to a friend, so I don't in the near future have one. There's actually something coming out next week. I can't say anymore, but something's coming in the mail, and there's going to be an announcement next week on something new. So I don't think it's a 6x6, but
I don't think it's a 6x, but yeah, very cool.
Recent plans for a 6x6, but I think they're super cool. I saw one at Proline. Guy had each one had its own servo, which was so cool. So
where it controlled the shocks, like that, where it articulated with the shocks, you mean?
Well, he had a servo
on each wheel, on each set of wheels changing. I know the one you mean.
Wheel would steer. Maybe it was I don't know. I had it in my Proline by the fire video. I'll have to go back and check. But
do you have an SCX6? Do you have a 6-scale platform?
I don't. I want one so bad. I know.
So do I.
Rock Pirates, they make like these side panels for it, and I saw them at Proline too. I'm like, I want an SCX6 just so I can have the Rock Pirates side panels. Like they're so cool. They're
But where are you gonna put that, in your dining room?
I want the honcho one. I have no idea. I know. Like,
you know how big that is? Mike told me how big it is, and I'm looking in my hobby room. I'm like, I have no room for this thing.
Start hanging them from the roof. I don't know.
Ceiling? Like I could make a Prorack upside down.
It's not that bad, though. Honestly, you have, the Willys Jeep and a few other 6-scale ones that are very similar. It's digestible. You'll find space.
Yeah. All right. Next is Alan Hughes. You kind of touched on this, but what would you recommend as a toolkit for a first-time RC car owner? I just ordered a TRX4M.
TRX4M, yeah. So that's I think mostly 1.5, maybe a little bit of 2 millimeter. Get a really nice bit set. Like if that's all you get a really nice bit. I had one from Amazon, and those like round out really easily.
They do.
Really nice metal bits that work with your electric drill. Maybe not for the smaller stuff, but like I think invest in a nice bit set that works with the hand little handle, and then stuff that can you use with like an electric driver, because I think if you're doing a kit build, man, your hands are going to get carpal tunnel real quick. So I think a nice bit set, 1.5 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 2.5, and 3. I think that's mostly what I use for like 90% of the hobby.
Awesome.
And unless you're going into the FMS and the micros,
the micro stuff, smaller.
Yeah, it changes a bit. Yeah. But the key word there was quality tool
quality
set.
Bit set.
That quality bit set is the key word. Sure. We could rattle off 10 different brands out there that offer them, but the quality one is key, and it will stop you from stripping so many darn screws. Also, if you're using a quality bit set, you won't be stripping as many screws.
But if you do strip it out, there's a cool tool for that too.
Apparently, what is it called? The vampire?
Vampire blood. Thank you, Haley. I appreciate that. Thanks, Lee. So next is, well, you already went over this, Gregory Johnson, designated room for your RC. We talked about that. This is an interesting question because I know Mike and I, we have similar viewpoints on this, but I'm very
We
curious.
already know she's not single, Pete.
No.
Oh.
Vintage RC said, what is the best value RTR crawler out there?
Oh, brands.
Okay. If you're looking at 1/10 scale, I actually don't have one of these, but the Element, is it the 299 one? They make an Element that's like a
Sendero?
The
crawler.
Aero
Aero
RTR?
Sport? Yeah, but it's
base something. No, that's the base camp one. I know the one you mean.
The Trail Walker?
No.
Sendero SE,
Yeah, that's it.
Sendero SE.
the
Yeah.
truck. 1/10 scale for 299, like that's insane. Red Cat makes, I think even the Gen 8 V2 or the V3 now is even more.
One of the best RTRs I ever owned.
$320, I think now they are. So those would be the two that I would pick. If you're looking for hobby grade, looks good, you know, competitive, things like that.
And it's hard. I mean, because like you said, you got to look at what's the budget and then
Yeah,
what are
if
you
you're looking
looking
at
for?
different types of
Now
cars,
with
crawlers.
Axial bringing the flat rail option to the table, I mean, it's giving people, new people, so many options right out of the gate. But people will learn very quickly. There's a reason there's walls of trucks that hang, is because my wife will look at it and think that they're all the same. But when we see these, everyone is different for a reason. They are not the same. And there's a reason these things multiply like bunnies. So the good news is, to you people that are stressing what is the one get, guess what? They're like tattoos. You're going to have more than one. So stop stressing about the first one. Just get it, because the dam will open and you're going to have more than one.
Yeah. And honestly, even if you can, you know, if there's a hand-me-down, you know, an original SCX or, you know, some of the older stuff, and, you know, the hand-me-downs are good too. Start there. And so when I was first starting my channel, I had my team associated B3 buggy. And so, and I had a T3 truck, a Losi truck. And so I was on the internet looking for all the parts. And so it's just really fun to like track down this diff gear that fits vintage stuff. So even if you have the older stuff and, you know, someone gives you money on truck, like people still, like some hobby shops still carry some of the vintage parts. And that was a really fun part of the hobby too, is like tracking down things that are really hard to find for trucks that aren't made anymore. So yeah, it doesn't have to be the latest, greatest shiny thing either.
Awesome.
Well said.
Next is Shirt Rock Tunnel Garage. What do you think about the new RTR Vanquish that dropped versus the 410 of the Phoenix?
Oh man, I don't have a lot of experience with Vanquish myself personally. I don't have any Vanquish trucks. I know they are like the creme de la creme. So I think they look cool. I've seen a bunch of really cool builds with them. I don't personally have experience with Vanquish myself, though. So I'm sure you guys.
It's nice they came out with an RTR though.
Very cool, yeah.
I think it's
increasing options.
An option.
An option.
People need to weigh what's out there. Do you want the painted body? Did you want the clear body? And then, you know, there's always been a difference between a kit and an RTR.
But I will say though, I mean, you got me hooked on Vanquish, Mike. I will say, Haley, my first Vanquish 410, it was probably one of the most enjoyable builds I ever built. The kit.
Very cool.
I mean, it's not cheap, but
high quality. Yeah.
High quality.
There's a difference.
A masterpiece, and you could feel every screw that goes in. You're like, wow, this is something else. All the parts are labeled neat. Everything goes together, you know. So
all the engineering and product design and all the hours that goes into that. And
great kit. But then on the flip side, back to your point with Element, I'm a big fan, like Mike, of Element. I still have my original Element Sendero.
Yeah, I remember that was in Rccaraction, I think. Too, wasn't it?
I will never get rid of that. That is my baby. That is the gatekeeper. You know, the one I just got from Brad. I love Element. It's a great hobby grade, you know, platform. And the scratch and dent that Mike has, you know, great products. The Element's they're killing it. So,
And I think Rebel did a great job, you know, giving a newbie, a newcomer, a great trail truck right out of the box with light kits.
Yeah, that one has a cult following, the Rebel.
It does, and you got the turn signals out of the box, the brake lights, and I mean, it gave you a lot of cool stuff right out of the box
that
too.
goes back to Haley's point and your point, the price point. What do you want?
Yeah,
to spend?
price
Yeah.
point.
Now you're going in the high fours, but look what you're getting. You know, you're getting a light kit that's amazing. You're getting multiple servos, high-low gear, all out of the box.
Mhm.
I mean, Rebel killed it.
All the
with
bells
It's
and
all,
whistles.
so yep. There is plenty of options.
Next is Patty Irishman. Would you have any interest in doing a Mercedes Unimog?
So I had a grill on my my Unimog that I installed the Mercedes logo upside down. So obviously I'm not very familiar with Mercedes. I'm keeping it there. I'm keeping it upside down. Actually, I'm just going to stay like that. But I do like the Unimogs. Like I've seen some full scale ones. You just drive, you know, past like really cool build, like actual full scale ones. So I'm impressed by those. They look super off-roady. Like I think they look really cool. So I'd be open to doing an RC version.
That's awesome. Yeah, our buddy Mike James Story, he has a 1-to-1, right? He has a real
Very
Oh,
cool. Those are so sick.
I don't
They
know
are.
where he got a military base. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
they look. People have done some
collect them.
cool builds.
Let's see, what do we got next? You kind of talked about this. What are your channel plans for 2023? How often do you RC when not for a product review? What would here's interest. This is like a 4-part question. What would you change about the RC hobby?
Oh,
How much time we got left?
Oh man, what would I change? We were talking about this a little bit, Mike, before we came on. Is people are in the wanting everything to be on Instagram and stuff, and sort of the social media aspect of it. And is it better to not be on Instagram? I think there's pros and cons to it. I don't know if I would change that. I mean, there the forums, of course. People can get a little heated debates and stuff, but take it with a grain of salt. I think remember that we all are here because we enjoy the hobby. And
I think your answer is the social media aspect is
Yeah.
the part of the hobby you would change. I think it's a great answer. I think the social media side of this hobby is the one dagger in everyone's side that drives people crazy. It's either good or bad, but it always stirs up drama.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, if it's not your answer, it's my answer. It's the one I'm taking. It's the social media side of the hobby. It's the one thing I wish we could change. You need it. We need to embrace it. But as a community, we can all work together to make it a better place for all of us to enjoy. It can be more supportive and a more productive outlet if we all work to make it that way.
I agree. And it's also like I get to engage with people in like the Netherlands and in the UK, just, all around the world that I wouldn't if I just, went to local events and stuff. So I think there are positives.
Absolutely. There's no boundaries at that point. Yes. And that's a very good point.
I think
it brings us a lot closer to people that you would have never met.
Yeah, for sure. So there are
I'm not saying it's all bad.
Double-edged sword. Yeah.
All right, so we got 4 questions left. Wow, we got through all of them. Next is Bill's RC Adventure. This is something I want to know, actually. How many RC trucks do you actually own? Is it more than the ones just hanging on the rack behind you?
Yeah, for sure. 14 that I had to pick to go on the rack. I was like, I don't know how to pick just the 14. I should have counted before it goes up every week. I'd probably say it's maybe around 40 now. But that's just cars, and then planes. I think we have about 20 planes.
You know what though? Full disclosure, I know the answer to this, and I need to tell the people how humble you are, and the reason why there is that many that hang there. You're so humble, and you're not about putting them all in front of people's faces. You've taken a step back to make it look approachable. Why are you going to flex how many you really have behind your backdrop? And you really took this approach to make it look
room. There's the other
right. And it just shows you what type of person you are to really think, what's intimidating, what's rubbing it in people's faces, if what's so obnoxious if I show how many hundreds of cars I have, So the reason, that you do what you do, it just shows you're a very kind person, and you think, I like how you don't just throw it in people's face.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I mean, I don't take it for granted, the partnerships that I have with a lot of the companies and stuff. And, people are like, oh, you get free stuff. And it's like, we put in the work too, I was up till 2 a.m., so like.
With a stress level that I couldn't even imagine what you work your butt off for that. There is nothing free. You work your ass off for it, and you deserve it.
So yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's like Christmas. I still get excited like when packages arrive. I feel bad for like the UPS driver and the postal.
I wonder what the mailman must think.
I know, like another tiny truck coming.
Once they see your address, they're like, "Oh, great! I gotta get the hand truck again."
Do not take it for granted. I'm super appreciative of all the companies, and just like I was saying before, it's like so much time and energy goes into every single product, even like a servo or whatever component it is. Like just think about all the hours that went into developing and releasing and designing that.
I think that's a good point. Like even like the axial drop, the Pro. You watch the comments, it's like, to your point, it's like people took time to develop, the engineering.
Over a year.
If people saw the behind the scenes, I wish all these naysayers would go to the plant or watch the computer, the CAD design, all the meetings, everything it took.
The amount of people.
Release that, then maybe they would have a different perspective of a release.
For sure.
We're never going to stop it.
All right, we're almost at the end here. Riggs Family RC, are you going to Clash of the Four Cardinals this year? And how is your new year going so far?
I'm not familiar with Clash of the Four Cardinals. Are you guys?
Never heard of it.
There's a lot of different events. So I'm not going to that one, but Riggs Family RC, I met their son at Proline by the Fire, and he was super cool. We crawled together, and they have their own YouTube channel, so check them out, Riggs Family RC. And my new year's going awesome. It's great that I get to take a sabbatical from my job and invest full time into the RC hobby and YouTube and content creation. So it's it's intimidating too. Like Mike, you were saying,
it's a risk.
Job. It is a risk. You don't have the stability. You're at like the whim of the social media algorithm. You're vying for people's attention. Like, am I selling out because I'm starting to sell stuff now? So it's a lot. And doing YouTube, like you're filming yourself and you're editing and you're doing the design and like the social media. It's just, there's a lot that you take on, I think, that goes unseen. So it can be scary too, but it's also exciting. So I look forward to seeing where this grows.
Awesome. Here's an interesting question from Goonie. What were the moments, products where you felt gave you a big boost? Was discovering a new motor, ESC, a new crawling technique, things like that? Like what gave your channel a boost?
Yeah, I think honestly the TRX4. So that was my first ever sort of like big or crawler that was featured on my channel, my first ever scale crawler. So I think the enthusiasm was not faked at all. So, unboxing that. So RC Mart actually reached out to me. They're based in Hong Kong and they sell a lot of cool products, and they're like, we'll give you a discount. So I actually did pay for the TRX4 that I featured on my channel. So, I put my own money towards that and waited for it, and it came in the wrong color, and they sent me another body or whatever. But yeah, that was the one where I just saw like, wow, there's a lot of like, how cool is this thing? There's a lot of potential. I got super into the scale accessories. I put like all the things on it, like now, which is kind of a no-no. Like you don't want to put all the things on your roof rack. Like you don't need Coke bottles on your roof rack. No one really does that. So yeah, I went a little like crazy with the scale accessories, but I would say
we all did.
Yeah, so many people have the TRX4, so it was like.
Was it a Defender?
It was a Defender, yeah.
Okay.
The first one. So I think that
Do you
sort
still
of
have it?
I do. It's still up there behind. It's kind of dark back there now, but I still have the Defender. I still have that one. Has all the bells and whistles, all the upgrades on it. And I think because so many people like the TRX4 platform. There's just a lot of people out there that found my video, and I think
Traxxas is huge.
Yeah, so it was a successful one. So that would probably be my first one. And then just a smaller thing, like Night Customs reached out to me on Instagram, and I felt like, oh my gosh, Night Custom knows who I am. I admired all this stuff. And so that was, my Instagram was pretty small at the time. I maybe had a couple thousand or something. And so, yeah, I think having, people reach out to me and just recognize what I was doing in the hobby was pretty cool too.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, last question. We did very well here. So
she does well in the complicated answers. These one-word answers, she failed.
Well, I like how she slips in like a revised version of the question and that she really wants to say.
Oh yeah, they asked this.
Yeah. So this person says, thinking of a second body for my TRX4 Defender Black. Should I opt for an orange or go a different route? I mean, I guess it's a personal style, but
personal style. Yeah, I would say go with the clear body. You see so many of the stock body colors out there. Like, grab a color that you like, make it custom. I would say.
And that was a TRX4, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
there's so many different body styles for that one too. I think you have to make some modifications to like fit some of the other bodies, but
and the one thing Google. The one thing people forget about sometimes when they change their body, the inner fenders were given to you with that Defender.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth, people, are you going to change that body and get rid of the inner fenders? Like, that's the holy grail that we all work for, is the interior and inner fenders, and they gave it to you already. So take Hayley's answer and paint a clear body, a different color, and be happy.
Awesome. Well, we got through all the questions.
Sweet.
Well, Hayley, you taught me a lot tonight, girl, and it was an epic pleasure.
Thanks for having me. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Anytime. Anytime.
Now Hayley can go to bed an hour earlier tonight, so she doesn't have to respond to all those questions. People can you can share the link tomorrow and then say, here's your answers. So
I couldn't have, man.
One instead of two.
Oh, man. I'm looking back at the chat too, Mountain Mike. He's like, someone save me. I know, because there's tiny trucks in every room. Sorry. Yeah, shout out to Scale Audio Solutions too. He makes the 3D sound systems, lighted custom 3D.
You know what, Hayley, while you're here and you bring that up, let's do it. I'm going to show you something.
Yeah, show us your truck. You were talking about that earlier.
While Hayley is here, we're going to do it. All right, so you guys talk a second. I'm going to get the battery set up.
Wait, should I put on music for
I'm going to turn. I got it. Dude, this thing's got audio from Scale Audio Solutions.
I got audio, not like you.
The audio's coming out of here. We hid a speaker up underneath the grill. Wait, we'll let it speak for itself. You guys talk. Give me a second to get set up here.
So when I got these, Hayley, because we had them on the show, right? These are the ones with the colors in them. And
cool. Yeah.
In my Scale garage. And I was so blown away by the quality of the audio coming from like a box. Like
a tiny little thing. I know.
I connected it to my LiPo. I Bluetooth in 1 second and I'm playing music. I'm like, man, this is super rad.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff he's got. But this thing is. The Night Runner loop.
It's above the law.
All right, I'm going to turn the lights out. Now, tell me, can you hear this?
Yeah. No, we can't hear anything.
Night Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. Of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
That's pretty loud.
So, yeah, it's coming from the truck.
You're gonna be a hit on the trails, man. USTE.
Hopefully your
Rob.
kids aren't sleeping. Oh man.
But we worked it into the Night Runner. We turned our Night Runner into like this Night Rider theme. David Hasselhoff is in the driver's seat.
Of course, of course.
I'm riding shotgun. Between My Trick RC, Scale Audio Solutions. The only problem with, hang on. I have everything all turned off here. I had to turn all the lights off. So yeah, that's my Night Rider build, but you could hear it, right? Like that Scale Audio Solutions put together a 4-minute audio loop of Night Rider for me.
Nice.
That's what really sells it. So I'm excited to get that thing in the show in China at USDE.
I was going to say you're going to enter that. Very
Absolutely. Cool. It was just something fun to do, to get that. And it was an achievement on my part to get that grill to light up and get the audio synced in and very complex wiring to get a little speaker hidden up in the grill, Bluetooth, a small Bluetooth speaker hidden up in there.
Yeah, very creative design.
Well, thank you. And that's it. So Scale Audio Solutions, thank you very, very much. I owe it all to him.
Well, Hayley, thank you for joining us. It was such a pleasure, and we wish you all the best in your new endeavors. Good luck. Sure, this is not goodbye. We'll chat again, and good luck. I mean,
thank you. Likewise to you too. Have fun at USTE. Good luck with the Rad Rc Show. I know you guys are going on the up and up, aiming to get the 500 subs and doing a giveaway. So
we're trying.
Sweet. Well, like I said, like Mike said, there's going to be a V5 smasher by the time we actually jumped to 4 because of Hayley. We might have to give her a percentage of royalties here because of Hayley sharing this during the week. We actually have 434, so we did.
Wow,
we did climb.
There's a math formula available to figure out the percentage, and she made us jump. I bet
there's definitely analytics. Tonight. We'll see where we were later. So next week, I know there was some new people that came to see Hayley. Next week, we're going to go live. For those of you guys who don't know what USTE is, Mike and I I'm going to be here in the hobby room. Mike, unfortunately, I'm not going. Mike's going to be at USTE live. So we're going to do the show from USTE. So if you guys can make it next week, next Saturday, definitely try to tune in. We'll post next week what time, and you'll see the sunny Florida weather. And tomorrow I'll post the recap. Hayley will send me her Etsy shop link, and look for all the links tomorrow.
I think
Hayley, thank you for joining in, and all the best to you.
And go Kansas City Chiefs.
You brat! I was going to ask you for a Go Birds.
Oh man, he's gonna have to return that $50 necklace tomorrow. That ain't a USDE neck holder.
Oh, good stuff. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you both. I appreciate both of you and your time as well. So thanks for everyone for signing in. It was great to answer all the questions, and thanks for engaging with us tonight too.
Keep your formula going. It is inspiring. It is a beacon of light to new people and veterans and everybody in the hobby. So do not change a thing. Full throttle. Keep going.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Bye. Signing off. I'll see you later, everyone.
All right.
Well, that is Hayley, people. RC girl, not in the flesh, but a whole other side of her, Pete. Very cool.
What a great guest. I mean, that was such a great interview, and learning more about how she started, how she navigated through RC and where she is today. Fantastic. And, like you said, Mike, that's a big gamble, like you did with Carryall. Don't turn that on again. Fishing Bill just commented. He said, I heard that thing all the way here in Kentucky.
So I didn't know how loud to make it.
So
I think I had the phone too close to the computer. It's not that obnoxious.
It was tolerable. It just
The phone is too close to it, but the speaker, I'm not going to turn it back on. Everybody calm down. Keep your hands off the volume.
So yeah, taking a risk like you did, you made a great point. You leave your full-time job. I remember you saying you're an electrician and starting Carryall and just following your dream and your hobby, just like Hayley. It's a risk, but if you have a passion and you work hard and you grind like you do, it pays its benefits over time, and
I think it will work out for her just fine.
yeah, she's fantastic. Great person, great representative for Hobby, for brand.
Absolutely.
Just a positive person, and it was great to have her on. And yeah, I'm excited for you next week, even though I have a straight face on. I'm jealous inside. Sad I'm not going to be with you, my man, my ride or die. I'm going to be here, but I hope you have a great time. Carryall will do very well. Everything will work out what we talked about. I got faith in you. And we'll go live, we'll figure it out, even if you only get on for a half hour. So everybody's still watching, or we'll watch next week or tomorrow. We will go live at some point, the Rad Show from USTE. One, because I need to see what it looks like. And two, we want the viewers to see what it looks like. Those that haven't been to UST. I know there's people still watching and don't know what it is or haven't been there. So definitely look for some information next week. We'll definitely go live at some point, and I'll let Mike talk about what he's holding there.
Well, Pete, we're going to do Carryall is going to have the opportunity to release 12 new special edition backpacks that we've been working on for a few months now. We've been holding these close to the heart and under wraps. But again, the single shoulder sling bag option that we will have there has been outfitted. What the difference maker with this sling bag that we offer, the water bottle holder is key, the Velcro all over. And if you ask me, Pete, why I have a controller attached to my sling bag, because I have a remote control controlling the remote control. In the one truck I'm taking, in the Element Trail Walker Black, I have a remote control cart in the back of that one. So I'll be out on the trail, and then I can control the little one with my scale action figure. I'm just trying every geeky scale little trick I can. So I have this clipped to a scale Carryall backpack in the back of the Trail Walker
What is
Black.
that, like 1/84th scale? Where'd you find that?
It's tiny, and dude, it's literally remote control.
What is that, 1/90th scale?
It's like Matchbox size, dude. When it goes.
Where did you get? You find everything, man.
Bro, it's a little scale Bronco, and I can control this thing. Oh, it took off the computer. So I'm going to have this controller attached with me wherever when I'm driving the Trail Walker Black. We did a whole bunch of these in a black and gold color to give to the induction ceremony people with Operation 11 Charlie. So Operation 11 Charlie is doing a handful of induction ceremonies to new veterans. It will be their first time coming out and enjoying the world of RC. So we'll be giving those away with Operation 11 Charlie. We have the FMS bag, a whole handful of them. Scale Rats guys ones. I don't even want to disclose them all, but that's going to be super exciting. But before we close, Pete, I would be doing a injustice to our friend Rick's Snowplows. He's been working on something for about a year now. Since we left USTE last year, I left with a C10 pickup truck. And this has been in the works. This is a 1/18 scale C10 Chevy pickup with a functional straight plow option. Now, a tiny micro, we're not expecting this thing to be pushing 4 inches of snow down your sidewalk. But for you scale nerds out there, you ultra scale USTE geeks that can fully appreciate a flat snowplow, a straight blade plow, functional up and down, with a left and right swivel option, and up and down also. He worked it all out. I'm still working out a couple of kinks with the separate controller. Obviously, you have to abandon the ESC that's in here or come up with an external key fob that's going to control that separately. So that's the last little hurdle that we need to do. And then obviously, we've been talking with Scale Rad about laying in a little bit of rust and some Northeast. Peter, you can respect the Northeast with the salt. That road salt leaves that white crust over it. That's what I'm thinking here. It needs that white, like a light white dusting, like it's been getting road salt thrown all over it for years. I don't want a rust bucket. I'm not looking to change door colors and, junkyard dog this thing, but just a little aged weathering, I think will really sell it and bring it home. But what a fun little build. And he did an option for the SCX24 also. So for a company that's been in retirement, for the last 3 freaking years, he's still grinding pretty hard and doing some neat tricks.
Oh, that looks awesome, man.
Just a fun little thing. Yeah, and I'm excited to get the Trail Walker Black out there and display this baby. We put a lot of work into the Trail Walker Black, Proline shocks, Castle motor, and ESC. Spare Time Hobbies donated a set of beta test set of inner fenders. We got the interior done. To be able to take that Trail Walker Black in a month and do what we did to it was pretty impressive. We're excited to get that baby out there to USTE also. And let that 4-minute audio loop run of the Night Rider theme. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm sorry I blasted you out. It was the big debut, but I hope to, I'll be out tomorrow morning, letting it rip around for a little bit, breaking her in real good. But yeah, it is it's a moment, Pete, when you take something with your hands and create it. And we don't always get it right the first time. I was able to pull that wiring harness off with a little bit of experience over the years of learning what worked, what didn't work. But it sure did feel freaking good when I hit on and boom, everything came up and just the way you wanted it. And I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is a great feeling.
Yeah, it's good when it works.
It is. There's plenty of times when it don't work and it's shitty.
Well, I remember I sent you that video when I was building the Boom Racing. When you do a kit,
yeah,
that first time you hit that switch, it's like an oh shit.
It's alive.
It's either gonna turn on or it's gonna not turn on. So yeah, but good show, man, and I hope you guys have a rad time out there in Florida. And we'll go live at some point over the weekend. We might have Scalar Fab.
So
yeah, we'll go live and recap RC Girl tomorrow. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Anybody who watches it during the week, check out the recap post tomorrow. We'll have all Hayley's links in it. And enjoy the rest of the weekend. Get out there and share your adventures, man. I didn't get to go trailing today. I'm hoping to get it in tomorrow. I'm hoping. So I know I look cold, but I have shorts on. It ain't that cold. But,
go Birds.
All right, man. Super Bowl tomorrow. I got a couple boxes to watch. We'll see.
Go Birds.
All right. Take care, Mike. We'll talk soon.